Hello, beautiful souls. This is Vanita Kumar, also known as Twinflameunion, bringing you guys in this week's pep talk and empowerment how to amplify your goals for 2021. As usual, I have actually written down some of the aspects. Some of it I've actually also talked about in other videos. I will link those as well. And again, I had also done something very similar, but not quite that in the last week's video. So this is sort of a continuation of that. So I'll link that video as well, because I feel that as we are going into 2021, a lot of people are empowered. They feel like they want to do something different than what they have been doing. Let's just say even in all their life, or even this year, they want to do something that's going to carry them forward in whatever goals and aspirations that they have. So this is sort of in that league. And again, this is timeless. So whenever you actually see this is when you're meant to see it. So go ahead and bring a notebook or pen or something where you can actually write some of these pointers out, because there's going to be many that I'm going to give. And it'll also, the whole idea of this video is to make you guys think and set up some nice goals that will actually help you in many areas. It's you know, for those that are twin flames, as you know, there's always stuff that always comes up for healing. But even if you are not a twin flame and you are attracted to this title and you want to know what's happening, you can definitely tune in and get some insights, whatever have you. But before actually we dive deep into this topic, let's hit it. And welcome back. For those that are new to this channel, please do not forget to hit like, share, and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos. For those that want to book a session with me, be it a reading or a healing, you can do that directly from my website. You can purchase and book directly from there. Also, I want to add that 10% off Twinflameunion sales also go to the proceeds to Red Cross, as well as BCSPCA. BCSPCA is known for looking after domestic and wildlife. It's basically for animal cruelty, and they facilitate that. So it's something that's very close to my heart. So just goes to show that for those that are actually using my services, you are actually putting something forward to the universe as well. Just the fact that I'm actually doing that now with the 10% of the sales proceeds. So having said that, now we're gonna dive deep into this topic. And like I said, this week's topic is how to amplify your goals for 2021. And I actually have all this written down so so that I don't actually stray too much away from the topic, and we can actually just carry on. If you haven't done that already, you may want to pause the video and get a notebook and a pencil or something to just jot down whatever I'm going to be saying, because it's going to be very, very important. And I'll actually dive deep into these aspects, why I actually listed this as one of as many of the tactics that you can use in a very good way to manifest your goals and aspirations and have empowerment. It's worked for me, and I'll go over it in very detail. So yeah, it just goes to show a lot of them are actually law of attraction techniques. But then law of attraction does apply to our daily living, whether people like to think that deep or not. Some of you are actually already doing these, on a day-to-day basis and don't even know that you are. So yeah, I'm going to go over that as well. So the first topic that I'm going to talk about, and this is one of the topics that I haven't come across any law of attraction coach or spiritual teacher, anybody that has any knowledge, that has practiced this topic. I don't know anybody that hasn't tried this and said that it doesn't work, because it actually works amazingly. So it's one of my powerful go-to tools. I've been using it for 1.5 years, and I actually swear by it because I do not forget to actually practice it. See, the thing is that it takes about 3, depending on how good you are at forming habits, but in average it takes about 3 weeks of repetitive same thing for a human mind to form a sort of habit. It could be a good habit, it could be a bad habit, right? But these are all the good habits that we're going to talk about. So, habits are habits. It's something that's repetitive, and in this case, it's going to be actually good for you. So yeah, you want to use that aspect. But it takes about that, and for those that are a little bit slower than the normal average, then give yourself at least a month, I want to say. But 3 weeks is usually what the standard time it takes for a person to form a habit. So yeah, stay with it, because sometimes people give up too fast. They feel that, okay, I can't remember, I can't do this, and I can't, and there's so many different aspects that they say. So and yeah, you just want to stay with it, right? So the first thing I'm going to talk about is gratitude. Now, like I said, I've been doing this for 1.5 years, and I actually swear by this. How actually I formed this habit myself personally is I actually kept the journal on my nightstand. It was just easier for me to remember it that way, and that's where I actually kept it along. Now again, I know many of you don't look at it this way, but another thing that people should be doing is drinking lots of water. And you should have a water bottle very close to your, when you're going to sleep even, you should be having that, and make a point of keeping that if you're not, because it's something that everybody should do. So yeah, water bottle is another one. I just remembered that because it's something that I'm just visualizing how I have it in my bedroom, how I have set it up. So yeah, I've got the water bottle there as well. So you want to actually keep one there too. So make that as part of your check off thing, that you should have water, because you never know when you actually, especially if you're going through a massive ascension process, you want to be drinking lots of water, because it's actually flushing stuff out of your body, but also it allows you to not get up and go grab some water from the kitchen or whatever have you. You have it right there, right? It's convenient. And there's times when you're waking up in the middle of the night, or whatever have you, and your throat is like dry and you're just wanting some water. You've got it right there, right? So why not? So keep that in the back of your head as well. But gratitude, yes, I know, like, I follow Bob Proctor. I've actually talked about him in my previous videos, and that grandpa, I mean, he's a cute little grandpa, at least to me he is anyways, and he's very spiritual. So if if you sense that energy from him, it's because that's what it is. At least that's what I pick up from him, and that's why he's one of my favorite coaches, that I listen to all the time. And he actually writes 10 things that he is grateful for. Now, there's no rules to this. You can write it in the beginning of the day or at the end of the night, whatever have you. In the beginning of the day, I won't even, if I did that, you have to know what your habits are and how this will work. You know, there's no wrong or right, or you can even write in the middle of the day, but then that just means that you have to carry this journal around. And, you know, whether you want to do that or not, that's up to you. I'll leave it, you know, you got to choose your time, right? I choose it at the end of the night because that's when, you know, I wind down and it's just easier for me and I don't forget it. So, but, you know, he writes 10 things that he's grateful for every day. And there's many that talk about 3 things, many talk about 5, many talk about 10. I'm going to leave that up to you because I usually say minimum 3 at least. And if you have that day more than 3 things that you came across that had happened throughout the day that you were grateful for, list it anyways. I've had times when I don't stinge on that, if that makes sense. You know, you don't have that mentality that, okay, today I had 6 things, so I'm gonna save the 3 things that that I wanted to, I'm going to just write down the 3 that I have, and then I'll save the 3 for tomorrow and list it. You will be surprised that if you list the 6 things today, and then tomorrow you'll have something new to talk about or write about. It's the way that the universe actually opens up that portal, and portal or gateway, whichever way you want to look at it, it actually opens it for that abundance to keep flowing, and it's a constant flow of that. So again, you know, I started this, and I started off with the basics, you know, roof over my head, and you know, I was grateful for my life, you know, I was grateful for my twin flame. I don't know. It just started off with very vague things. But then as I started going deep into the gratitude, I found that I had more things to be grateful than the same things. And you don't want to repeat the same things, although there will be times when you'll be repeating it, you know, as you go into a few months of cycle, 6 months, a year, you'll be probably repeating that again anyways. And that's okay, you know, if you've done that, because you won't remember anyways. You know, some of them are the obvious ones, like the roof over your head, your life, you know, your twin flame journey, your twin flame, you know, these are the obvious ones anyways, you know, or, you know, your job. But it's okay to even do that in a repetition as well. But you don't want to be doing the same, you don't want to be saying the same things over and over and over and over and again, right? Like you want to be mixing it up. And it could be as simple as the oxygen you breathe. You know, I mean, we take that for granted sometimes. Try to have no oxygen supply and you're actually in a swimming pool or something like that, or, you know, swimming, and you're under the water and you have no oxygen supply, you know, for 5 minutes. What's going to happen to you, right? I'm just saying that, you know, sometimes we take things like that even for granted. So you want to actually you know, broaden your mind, right? That's the whole idea. The whole idea is to actually do that, right? You know, you can have so many things that you can be grateful for. You could be grateful for a stranger smiling to you and saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever have you, right? You know, sometimes, you know, when you coming across people, I mean, these days we are wearing freaking masks, you know, that's ridiculous. So our human contact is not as good as it used to be, but people still do a little bob like that or something like that, that they will give you a greeting, you know, or you can even see they're smiling through their eyes. Like right now, I know I'm smiling, but then you can see that my eyes are also smiling, right? So it's the way that, you know, you can read, you know, when somebody's giving you a little smile or a little this or that, right? So yeah, you know, and it's still there, because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we still are human beings and we have emotions, and you know, it's when you look at it that way, it's actually very deep, you know, because even if you think about it, like animals, for example, they give you the same kind of you know, greeting, and, you know, they're wagging their tails, and, you know, they it doesn't matter, even if it's their reptiles or their furry little babies, you know, it doesn't matter, they still give you so much love, right? So and you feel good, you feel good giving them that love too. So it just goes to show that it's a cycle, right? So yeah, you can be writing something like that, a stranger opening the door for you. You know how many times that happens, right? Especially if we are women, like I know that we don't do that for men. Not much anyways. Sorry guys, if you're watching, but you guys are great. I mean, you have your own way of making us feel good. So but and I hope that we return the favor somewhere. I don't know. You put a comment there, in the description if you're a guy, and you can mention how how women make you feel better. I don't know, but yeah, it's nice to get that gesture from people, right? So you can, if something like that has happened to you, and that brought a smile to your face, and are happy about it, just and it's stuff like that you won't actually not forget anyways, because you're writing this on a daily basis. You shouldn't have such short-term memory that you can't think of stuff like that. I hope not. I know that I laugh because that's true fact. If you are on a ascension journey path, your memory starts to fade a lot, and I have no idea why that happens. You feel like that you're going through Alzheimer's disease, and it's not. It's just one of the side effects of ascension, you want to say, because yeah, I could remember something 30 seconds ago, and 30 seconds later, boom, I forget. It's horrible. So, and I just laugh because it's so frustrating. So that's why writing everything helps. It is what it is, but you know what I'm talking about. If you're going through this, you know what I'm talking about. It's so frustrating. So anyways, yeah, you can write stuff like that. You can write how thankful you are for a beautiful meal that you had, or a delicious meal or nutritious meal. I don't know, like there's so many ways that you can be thankful for, and it's not that hard to come up with 3 things. If you are finding it difficult to come up with 3 things that you are grateful for, then there's something that you need to look at within yourself, why you wouldn't be able to. Because when you get into that daily practice, the daily repetition, you will hands down find things. There's no such thing, because I haven't come across anybody that has struggled here. So another one that I want to mention, I've actually completed mine so far, is the Life Gratitude Journal. And I knew about that last year. And unfortunately, I was just so busy with my mission work, my own journey with other things. It just never happened, and I actually made a point of doing it before the end of 2020 hit, because it was something that I needed to do. And I'm glad that I actually did, because it just goes to show I have a really nice view. Sometimes if you see me looking, it's just because something catches my eye. It's a beautiful room that I stay in. One of these days I'm gonna actually film it so that you guys can see what I have in here. But yeah, it's I keep it simple, but it's nice, and then the outside view is pretty nice too. So it keeps me entertained, and I spend a lot of time here. So it just goes to show. Anyways. What I was saying is that the Life Gratitude Journal, it's a very, very different kind of experience, because, people always wonder, well, how do I begin even? Well, you begin from the beginning. How about that, right? So begin from the time when you were 1 year old, and you can start off with being thankful for your life, being thankful to be born healthy, and you can just kind of start listing it like that and continue. You can, start listing all your attributes, the ability to hear, to know, sense, feel, whatever, right? All of that stuff, you can just start off like that. Be thankful for your parents, be thankful for your siblings, right? And just keep going. And before you know it, you have written 15 things. I actually say 15 because it's life. And a lot can happen in 1 year span. So it's not very hard to list 15 things that you are grateful for per each year that you've actually completed. I know you're going to say, oh my goodness, that's so much. But once you start actually writing it down, you will actually find that very, very easy as well. And then, you're going to be reminiscing a lot of your memories. It's going through the memory lane, really. You won't remember much at the age of 2, maybe a little bit. You'll remember some of your favorite toys, perhaps, and playing with your siblings or whatever have you. Your childhood is your memory, so you'll figure that out. But it's really a good practice for your inner child healing as well, because it allows you to just see the aspects of your childhood, some of the things that you forgot. And it's huge in my list, because in my list there was an aspect of my inner child wounding that showed up in my life gratitude journal, and I completely had forgotten about that incident. I didn't even remember it, and it was deep enough for me to heal on it. I remember I was with my dad in a shoe store, and he was getting me this really cute looking pumps, and I was 7 years old or something like that. So it was a time where he was, like we were trying, well, I was trying, not he was just watching, but I was trying all these different kind of pair of shoes, and I ended up liking this blue pair of shoes. And of course, I've never ever seen those kind of, like, I still remember how it looks like, but of course in today's time I've never seen it anything similar. And it had like bows in the back and in the front. It was just very, really shiny, different kind of shoes, and the heel was about that big. So a 7-year-old shouldn't be wearing that, but I guess my dad didn't think much of it because it made me happy, and he was just smiling when I was trying it, and so he bought it for me. And of course I come home, and my older sisters, I have 3 above me, that's older, so I'm the 4th one. And the 2 out of the 3, they saw my my shoes, and I was walking around happy with it. And I don't remember much. Only thing I remember is that both of them were discussing it among themselves, and they said, well, she can't even walk in those. I remember them saying that. And the next thing I remember, I'm going back with my dad to the same shoe store, and we returned it. So, I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny when I recalled that, because I started crying and I started remembering that whole aspect. And of course, I don't have my dad anymore. He passed away in 2013. So yeah, a lot of that stuff, just kind of came back, and I was crying. And yeah, it was a whole freaking funeral on that part, right? Just that whole aspect. And I was talking to my younger sister. I have 2 that's younger than me. We're all 6 sisters, so we have a big family. So I started talking to one of my sisters, the younger one, and she's like, well, are you going to get one? And I'm like, yeah, I got her now. I got to buy a blue shoes, right? And I'm the type of person, I don't stick to different colors of shoes. I love shoes, but with shoes and purses, they have to match, so I'm one of those. And I find that I only stick to the browns, the blacks, the reds, yeah, those, and the whites, those are the standard ones that I usually get. So I don't get the blues and the pinks and the orange. It just, I have to have the space for it. I don't have that. So I don't, and I usually don't, I keep it to that, it's just the standard colors. So I do remember in 2018, I went and visited my aunt, and that's my dad's younger sister, and she ended up giving me blue pair of boots. And it's not something that I would wear, but then I would buy for myself, but it was the same shade of blue, more or less, and yeah, I have that pair of boots. And sure enough, the whole story is that it started from there, and I didn't even think of it, and yeah, and when this whole process ended up happening, I realized that there was something in that aspect that I needed to heal, obviously. And that's, you know, in a spiritual journey, stuff like that, if they show up, it's because there's issues that need to be healed on some level, right? And that's what it was. So I ended up actually buying a blue suede pair of shoes, and then I was discussing that with a friend of mine, and she said, "You do realize that Elvis has a song on blue suede shoes?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know, I don't remember it, because I don't remember all of his songs, though as a child I did watch a lot of Elvis movies when he was, you know, those younger movies that he was that he starred in with my dad. Like, you know, he was an Elvis fan, so I did watch with him a lot of these videos or movies. And sure enough, I looked up the lyrics on it, and yeah, I felt that those were some strong messages from my dad from the other side, because he is also my guide on the other side. So it just goes to show that everything comes in full circle. So this is just my personal experience on life gratitude journal, but imagine what you will also come across, right? You're going to come across some really, really interesting things. So do give it a try. And it's not going to be an overnight process where you feel that you've started the life gratitude journal and it's just going to be in a week you'll get it done. There's no such thing as that, because it took me 3 months, I want to say, or 2.5 months to finish my life gratitude journal once I started writing it. So give it some time. It's not going to finish right away, right? So it's a whole point of the process with it. So I want to say 15 things, you know, and if you find that 15 things are difficult, then try 10 things, but it's not that hard. Like I had so much to be thankful for. This is where again, you know, this is just my experience, and I found that even a sink. The first 3 years of my childhood, from age 1 to 3, I found that to be the easiest to list the 15 things. And then after that, it became harder and harder and harder. But, you know, I did list all the 15 things, right? Then I found the last 3 years of my life, you know, my current life, where actually after my twin flame awakening, I found that some of the things that I was listing was becoming easier and easier and easier. So it just goes to show that, you know, you do a full circle in your healing. So in my case, that's what it was. And I was so baffled, because yeah, like stuff like this will come up, and you know, it makes you think and heal on a deeper level. So yeah, you want to actually give it a try, and let me know if anybody's actually gonna start their life gratitude journal, or even gratitude journal if you haven't, or list your experiences that you find when you're actually practicing your gratitude journal. What do you think? You know, how has that moved you? Like, put that all in the comments, because I feel that the viewers, once they see the comments, they will actually get inspired to actually do it as well, because it works, right? So I mean, for those that do try them, I think that you know it works. So those are that. Now I want to talk about I am affirmations. Now, I started this not so long ago. I want to say even this year, in the beginning of this year, because the gratitude started, you know, that process started last year, but I want to say this year I started doing that, and I actually saw a big difference with that. And I am presence, as Elizabeth Clare Prophet says in her website. You know, you can actually look that up. You can Google Elizabeth Clare Prophet and just put down I am, and she can explain you in the way that you know, it'll make sense to you. But basically, I am presence is your God-like presence. You know, you are God, right? You know, you are in that presence, and you've actually remember that at the end of the day, you are a spiritual being, right? Living a human experience. So you are that God-like. You know, you are that manifestation of God-like being, right? You know, this is why majority of the religions, you know, now think about that, that's deep. Majority of the religions, they always have pictures of gods in human form, because that's, so that it actually resembles humans, because they are humans. So think about yourself as just that. You are just as, I mean, of course they are higher, but you are anchoring that godlike presence. So that I am affirmation is really, really good. You can say anything that you want it to be. You can say, I am abundant, I am beautiful, I am smart, right? Anything. And if you're writing it down, it's more powerful than actually saying it. Do both. See which one you find is actually more powerful. I mean, you can stand in front of the mirror and say that, or actually write it down and then see which one actually has more depth or weight to it, right? So you want to actually say stuff like that. And just this year, not this year, sorry, this is the end of the year. Just recently, I want to say about a month ago, I started writing the I am into my journal as well. So I finished one journal and I retired it. That's another thing. For those that are wondering if your journal is completed, what do? You keep them. So I actually saw, and that was because this is also new to me, and I wasn't sure whether you're supposed to keep them or what. Then I saw Oprah Winfrey's YouTube clip on gratitude journal, and a lot of these famous people, you'll be surprised just how much they actually keep, like, or follow the law of attraction, because she's kept some of her gratitude journal, actually all of it, but she's gone back in year 1988 and even has read some of those from there. So, and she's kept those journals. So it just goes to show that some of these big celebrities and big empowerment, people that are there empowering and lifting everybody's vibe, just how much that they have also invested in their own transformation and all that have you. So yeah, she's one of those that have practiced and swears by gratitude journaling. Another one is J-Lo, right? Jennifer Lopez, Jim Carrey. A lot of these big stars, they actually do. So yeah, and I know it goes with any ethnic, even some of the Bollywood celebrities also do that. They're big on that. So yeah, of course they don't talk about it too much, but they do. So you want to start with the gratitude and I am. So try to do that. You can put that all affirmation in the in your daily journal, right? So see if that's going to actually lift some of your manifestation powers, and it'll lift some of your some of the things that you feel on a daily basis, and how that's actually opening areas for you for more things to come to you, right? So you want to get into that. The next one we're going to talk about is vision boards, and I know that I talked about it in the last video and a couple others, because it's such a huge thing. It has worked for me, so that's why I talk so highly about it, right? As the year is ending and we don't have much time, you want to maybe get on with it. And vision boards are different because it's knowing what you actually want. And again, if you're in a spiritual journey or even just living your life, if you do not know what you want, then how the heck are you going to be able to manifest any of that stuff? It doesn't make sense if you don't know what you want. You have to have a clear vision of what you want. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to put that into fruition. It's that desire, that initial wanting, right, of something that you can put down. So it could be as simple as eating healthy. Right. I mean, this is for 2021 vision board. You can make a live vision board if you want, but I also believe in the yearly vision board. So you want to do that. I know that I started it this year. I have my 2020 vision board up, and I want to say 80% of that has come into my reality. So it's very, very powerful, and I of course, when I was making it last year, whether it was going to come into fruition or not, it's hard to say, because I didn't know whether it was. I just had that intention of just putting it out there and see what happens. And what happened was that it did actually come true, right? So yeah, I've got my 2021 vision board. Like, the pictures are all set to be printed, and I'm just gonna go to a print store. I've got it all in my USB, and I'm gonna print it. And I already have my my board all ready, and to put them all into the board, it's not that hard. It takes literally like 15 minutes. So it doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to go through, this is 2020, you don't have to leaf through a stack of magazines about that high and, you know, look for stuff. You could, if you want to get your creative juices flowing, but it's easy to download these pictures, and I do that, and they do come into fruition. It's the same impact, honestly. You don't have to go through magazine cutouts like back in the days people did, because they will take you forever, and it's very, very mundane task, right? You don't want to do that. Then go ahead and download some of the pictures and then have it printed, because yeah, it's the easiest way of doing it. So, and it's worked for me so far. And yeah, I've got it all ready, and it's gonna go up. I'm not gonna waste a day. It's gonna go up on January the 1st. There's no way that it's gonna even have a delay on it. So what I will do is, in the next couple of weeks after I have printed it, I will actually have it ready, but it will actually go up. And you want them to be put up. There's no point of you keeping your vision boards in a closet or underneath the bed. You know, you need to be able to look at it, right? In my place, it goes into my garage, because I spend a lot of time there. You know, I'm always going in and out, and yeah, so it's, you know, I have wall space there, and that's where it actually went, and it served the purpose. I mean, you know, it's doing its thing, and I don't have a messy looking garage anyways. You know, it's very very neat and tidy. So, you know, it's not like a junk storage place. It's storage, but you know, it's stuff that I actually use. So, and I don't keep junk in there. So yeah, you know, to me, it's still a wall space. So again, you know, it depends how your place looks like, but mine isn't like that. So yeah, it's still part of the decoration. I actually have some nice pictures there as well, because I had so much you know, pictures, and some of them didn't make it to my home inside, because yeah, I mean, I came from a house to a smaller place after my divorce. So yeah, I used the wall space there for some of my pictures and stuff like that. You know, it's looking okay, not bad. So again, you know, you want to do that, right? So try the vision board, and I really, really swear by this. I can't emphasize on it. Now, journal scripting. I know there's some YouTubers that actually have good videos on journal scripting. It's something I haven't personally tried, so I can't really tell you how good or effective they are. I'm assuming they are. It's on one of my lists to do, so I'm gonna try that in the coming year. Clark Kingley, he's really good with Clark Kigley, actually, and you can look him up. He's one of the law of attraction coach, and he is talking about the journal scriptings, and he actually shows it to you in depth. And yeah, you could try that, see what ends up happening. That would be another one that you may like, and just get the ideas from there. Like I said, I haven't tried it yet, so I can't really comment on just what can go there, but I'm assuming from what I've seen that whatever you want to put in your vision board, you can actually put in your journal. That's my cat. I'm gonna pause the video and see what she wants. Story of, otherwise she's gonna start howling and I'm gonna get distracted because it is what it is. Hopefully she's gonna be quiet now, so let's see. I can't guarantee what she's gonna do or not do, but I'll try to wing through this. The next one is, we talked about journal scripting. Now I'm gonna dive into track your expenses. Now, it's such a mundane task, and I guess that's why I didn't really care to do it. I have been somewhat doing it, and with my business and stuff like that, I have to actually now track expenses for that as well, and you know, I have to show that in my taxes for this year. So I kept all of that stuff, but it's the way that it works is, see, this is where it got confusing because I was doing a little bit of research as well. So I'm not totally not, it's not that it wasn't in my mind, it was, but it was something that I was procrastinating on because I didn't know how I wanted to do this. And I actually managed to get an idea how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to actually put it together. And once I put it together, if you guys want me to do a video on that, I will actually do that. I can actually do a video on it and just throw it on YouTube, and you guys can take a look at it. I have the idea now. I think that this is more realistic than the ones that are out there on YouTube and on websites. I didn't really, or if you guys want me to write an article on it, I'll try to do that too. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you guys want me to do any of that stuff, I can easily do it. Once I've actually dove deep into it and got into it, then I'll have a better idea of how I can explain it to you. But so far from my research and what have you, what I found is that, and there's some apps there too, but then, you know, of course, some of them are free apps and some of them you have to pay for, you know. The whole idea of tracking your expenses is you are, how do I word it? You are tracking how much you are making as well as how much you are spending. And then you are also tracking your consumer debt. Like if you have credit card debts or credit cards or line of credit, any of that stuff, how are you, you know, bringing the amount down, or how are you actually paying off your debt? Now, some of the big debts like house or whatever have you, you'll be able to see it come down, but you know, you won't be able to really, you can't really, unless you are making extra payments in your mortgage or whatever have you, you won't be seeing, you know, like it's all automatic is what I'm trying to say. You won't be doing it too much. But yeah, there's times of the year, certain times of the year when homeowners are allowed to throw extra payoff, you know, towards a mortgage, and that just kind of shaves off the amortization period, or you know, it brings out the at the end. That's what it does. It actually shaves off that, right? But you know, that's just going into deeper stuff. But on a day-to-day basis, you know, you wanna be able to track your expenses on how much you are spending versus how much you're making and how much are you saving. So that's the whole process of it there. So so I have compiled some of the things that are very generic, and I think, and of course it will all differ from everybody else, because some people actually have expenses that would be different from me or for somebody else, right? Because yeah, you know, that's your daily expenses and what you are actually spending, right, money on. It could be as simple as childcare, or it could be something as mundane as clothing allowance. I don't know, like anything like that, right? So it's gonna be different for everybody, but once I actually put it out, you know, and do a video or article or something, it'll give you idea how to go about and do that. So yeah, that's coming up in my own thing. I've already actually drafted something out, and I'm going to be actually doing that you know, tracking my own expenses and just seeing how it's going to actually flow out. Yeah, it's something that I say is definitely a law of attraction technique, and it actually gives you a really good idea as opposed to being just lost and, you know, you don't know where your money is going, or you know what, before you know it, few years have gone by and you've got this debt that is not going, or, you know, you haven't put any money into your savings account, or, you know, stuff like that, right? So that's a good way of doing this. So you may want to look into that. There are some articles, you know, you can have a look at it on Google, but yeah, I haven't written an article on it myself, but once I have done it, practiced it a little bit, then I can talk about it a little bit better for you guys to understand it completely. So another one that I want to talk about is cosmic energies. Now, I don't believe in like, you know how sometimes you often read people talking about this cosmic energy is making the DMs do this or do that, they're going deep within, they're doing this, they're healing. And how is that helping you? It's not, right? The only way cosmic energies work so far that I've seen in my own journey and just dealing with people is if you're actually using it for your own healing. For example, we've got December winter solstices coming on the 21st, 22nd, depending on which part of the world you are and how it aligns. Now that's a big portal, right? Another one was 12/12. Sometimes it's you have the moon, full moon, new moon. Sometimes you have 3 moons that show up in one month, you know, and that amplifies stuff. It always amplifies things, but there's no such thing as free. If people are thinking that, oh, I'm getting this free juice from this moon and that portal and this portal, and come on. Really? You think that you will actually get those kind of things free? It doesn't work that way, right? It's nothing is free. So you are only amplifying your manifestation power. So all this moon energy or everything that's coming up, if you are actually using that in your manifestation, you know, actually putting the work, the time. If you are thinking that this full moon energy is gonna pluck out of the sky and I'm gonna get this amazing rays and amazing this and that, unless you've actually put in some work, it's not gonna do anything. It's just another moon energy that you're feeling. That's it. Your feeling is feeling. You're not actually healing it. Feeling and healing is 2 different things, and get that in your mind totally set differently. Right? You can feel the full moon. I know full moon makes people crazy, right? But that's just the feeling. There's no healing there, right? The only time you're healing is when you actually are doing something with it. So rituals, and I talk about moon rituals and stuff like that. You want to actually use those. You want to actually book sessions with healers and invest your time, your energy, your money, then you actually get something more out of it. Otherwise, it's just a portal energy that is there that you didn't do much with. Sorry to burst your bubble here, but I had to say it this way because I'm getting really, really fed up looking at these, you know, these people that are giving it in a wrong way or writing articles or whatever have you in a wrong way, because it actually doesn't do anything. You can sit there and wishful think for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 15 years, 20 years, and it's not going to do anything. You're going to still be there where you started off. But if you're using these manifestation techniques and you're using these portals into your own healing, it actually works side by side. It doesn't, there is no such thing as you receiving these things automatically. You have to put in that work. So yeah, if you're not putting that work and you're thinking that this cosmic energy or that, this portal, this gateway is helping you do this or do that, go ahead and wishful think, you know. You'll have to you have to almost, like, if you ever hear people talk about that and where they've actually booked a session with a healer or they've actually manifested something better, those are the ones that actually went ahead and did something with it and used it, and sure enough, you know, they got better insights on that. So I want to say that that's what it is, right? Like, for example, tomorrow, today is December, what is it? I've got December, oh gosh, Friday, 18th. Okay, sorry. I was trying to look on my phone what the date is, because yeah, I just, right? Tomorrow is 19th and solstice is coming up in December 21st, and it was just the way my schedule was working. I'm working with the healer tomorrow on my own spiritual stuff, and it aligned that way, where December 19th is aligned with that. And then, of course, you know, in 2 days I'll have that big you know, solstice energy come through. So, and anybody that has taken personal sessions with healers or whatever have you, you will know that the duration, you have a short duration with a healer and you actually heal, but the downloads and stuff like that, anything that you're healing actually carries on for a week. Whether you feel it or not doesn't matter. The effect is there for a week. So the timing is always perfect, right? You know, when stuff like this aligns with your journey. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, that, you know, don't just be in la la land and think that those kind of things just automatically happen. There's no automatic anything. You have to put in the work. You know, it's the way it is. You know, if that was a case, then I'm going to give you a good example of schooling, right? You know, if school was, I mean, you had to still put in your time, your homework, going into classes, attending, listening to the teacher, paying for your education, right? Getting up every morning, getting dressed and then going, right? Transportation, all of that stuff, right? Your parents making sure that the tuition fees was all paid off and everything. All that is a process. Then this is how you've learned. This is how you've achieved from grade 1 to grade 12, and then going into your post-secondary education, university, and whatever have you. How would have you, if you didn't put all that work there, you think that from age 1 to, let's just say you are now in your 30s or 20s, you think that it automatically happened? It didn't automatically happen. You had to put in the time, right? So how is all of this any different? It's not any different. It's still aligned as that, right? So you have to put in that time. And anybody that thinks that it's all wishful thinking, it never is. Nothing is wishful thinking in a twin flame journey. You have to put in that time and that work. So that's what a lot of teachers and collectives that talk about work, they're talking about that. And yeah, you get the juice, but you're not going to just get the juice if you're not going to be doing, you know, stuff around it to get the juice, right? It amplifies it for sure, but that's what it does. It amplifies it. It's not free juice. There's no such thing as that. You know, the only thing free is the you know, the moon energy. When people are going cuckoo right around you, you'll notice that, and then people say, oh my goodness, yeah, that's the full moon energy, and that's the only thing you'll notice. Other than that, nothing else. Sorry for those that think otherwise, and I just wanted to point that out, right? Because yeah, it's very, very important to know the difference. Another thing that you guys can do as you're going into the new year is clutter. And I know that many of you procrastinate on that. It was actually a topic that I had posted in the group on procrastination, and it's something that everybody has to work on. I had my own issues that I listed, and one of them was creating the you know, the track your expenses, which is already, the layout is there now. I just have to now do it. And yeah, I think that you know, procrastinating is something that, you know, it's second nature to a human, right? You know, and you have to dive into yours and see what yours is. What are you putting off? Because that's what it is. It's putting off this, or you're putting off that. So something that you are putting off for the longest time, and everybody has one. You know, if people say that they don't have it, I don't know. So another procrastination would be clutter, right? If you are a hoarder, you know, you like to hold on to things that no longer serve you, that's part of that line there. You know, if you're holding on to things that no longer serve you, you know, you want to not do that. Try to go through your belongings and see if there's things that you can actually get rid of it. Give it to Goodwill. There's just tons around you locally. Go through your closets, go through your garage if you have one, go through you know, your sink, your dishes and stuff like that, your household items, anything that you feel is no longer serving you. You want to do that, because, you know, see, back in the days, at least, you know, in the Asian culture as well as somewhat of the Indian culture, because Vastu Shastra and Feng Shui, these are the two oldest techniques that talk about you know, the flow of good energy, and, you know, the Feng Shui talks about Qi, which is the flow of the energy, right? And you know, you want to, and they talk about the negative energy as well. I want to say it's called Sha, you know, so, you know, you don't want Sha being trapped around into your you know, into your space. You know, you want it to continuously flow around, and the only way you can do that is if it's clutter free. So if you are one of those that have things that are just all over the place, and, you know, then your life is pretty much the same as well. I'm not saying that this is the blame thing that I'm doing, but it's something for you to think about, you know, in a very good way. If you're finding that, you know, you have clutter and stuff like that, you know, your life would be just as cluttered as well. You know, your life would be chaotic. So try to get rid of that aspect. And, you know, we're going into new year 2021. Set that intention and see what you can do, right? It's an ongoing process, and you'll find that it's always an ongoing thing. It's not going to be overnight process, especially if you've been dealing with this for a long time, as long as you can live, right? So there's some that don't, you know. I know that I go through this periodically. I went through some massive redecorating. I just kind of changed a few things here and there, and I got rid of the stuff that I didn't need. I threw it to Goodwill, I gave it to people. Then I went through my closet. You know, this is really, really depressing. You know, I don't want to even talk about it, because it's so, like, this stupid COVID really killed one of my favorite stores. They're going through liquidation sale. It's very depressing. I love their you know, outfits. It's Le Chateau. It's a Canadian company, but they also have for people that are living in US, you can also look through their website, and oh my god, it's depressing. So I've been I've been buying some of their stuff, you know, because I don't know if I will actually find clothing like that ever, because, you know, their styles are very, very different from the usual. And oh goodness, it's I'm praying, because I was talking to the employees. The stores are definitely going, but I was talking to the employees there, and they're hoping that they don't know yet whether the online will still be there. I'm hoping that it will. I'm kind of disappointed that you know, it's happened the way it has, and I know that the government, our Canadian government, tried to help a lot of businesses, but it's hard to save anything that's losing millions of dollars, right? So you know, it's such a sad situation. And I know that Hudson Bay, that's another Canadian company. It's a department store like Macy's or Nordstrom. It's something very similar to that. They're going as well. They were owning it for 300 years. So these are all these Canadian companies that are going down, because, you know, they just didn't they couldn't sustain it. You know, their business is sad, because I love those stores. But, you know, yeah, so I've been going crazy buying some of the things that they have, and I couldn't justify buying all these things and not getting rid of some of the other clothing that I haven't tried on for, you know, more than a year, 2 years. So I've been going through it aggressively, and you know, it's yeah. So it's if I look at it this way: if I haven't worn it for a year, year and a half, then maybe it's time for me to really look at it and give it a goodwill or something. So I did that. I went through some of my, you know, I rejigged some of my stuff and tried to get rid of it like that. So yeah, it's been very, very tough for some of the people that love fashion. So because we've had some really, you know, sad times, you know, where it's just some of these stores are closing and we don't know what to do with it, because, you know, it's nothing we can do. And I'm pretty sure that there's others that feel that way too. I know in your local area, whoever your favorite stores were, they're not surviving very well. So hopefully 2021 will revive some of that. And yeah, so clutter is another one that you may want to just have a look at and see what you can do, because yeah, if you have stuff that are laying around that are not serving you a purpose, then, you know, see if you want to get rid of them, because you'll feel better when you actually do. I know that every time and I usually have decent stuff that I give, right? So when I give away, it makes me feel good. So I hope that you know, you learn something from that. And this was Twin Flame Union, again, bringing you guys a little bit more than the norm. I want to actually do one more video on something like this. I don't know what the topic will be, but I'll do, as the year is ending, I want to actually bring out some of these videos so that it gets you thinking for 2021, and you're going to actually have all the tools that you need for next year's manifestation and trying to get your life in order. Because when you are a twin flame, you are on a spiritual path, or you're just living a life, you know, the whole idea of any of that is to get your life in order in whatever way that it serves you. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this this pep talk, and with that, this was Twin Flame Union.